chain gun. Let's see if we can get Sam, the postman, to this destination without getting into trouble again. So, I was talking to my my best friend a few months ago, and what happened is Three Body Problem started showing on Netflix, and I watched the first episode hoping it would be good. I'd heard great things about Three Body Problem, and it was excellent. I know that people who've read the books have kind of might have some opinions about what a good or Fidelitas adaptation it was. But basically, it was a great piece of television and a great introduction to laymen who hadn't read the book. And I hadn't read the book, and I quickly became really interested, and I was pretty obsessed actually, and I watched the whole thing in a very short time, and I got my best friend and a couple of friends to watch it as well, and we were all really thrilled. It was like great fun, it's really engaging, it's really interesting, and then I started watching the original version that was made. Now I'm going to make a fool of myself. I can't remember. I feel really embarrassed. I can't remember if it's a Chinese or Japanese. I know I should know that. But it was by, it's all on YouTube, the original version in the original language. And I was really enjoying that. I must admit, it did begin to like pale, because it's quite a long-winded and extremely Fidelitas adaptation, and it's got like 30 parts, and so I didn't make it all the way through. But while I was watching it, while I was enjoying it, with subtitles and everything, obviously, I found myself really enjoying being completely into something again. Bad guys.
Heads up, Sam. Your cargo's been pinged. Move. Now. As I get to your destination ASAP if you don't want to get caught.
And basically,
Sam, don't get too close to mule territory unless you have to. Focus on your deliveries for now.
what I found myself saying to my best friend in a conversation with him, because he tries to give me a call every couple of weeks, make sure I'm okay. What I found was, go on, bad guys. Oh, they won't stay out in the rain. Because in the rain, the baddies come out. The really bad guys, the ghosts, come out in the rain.
Mules gave you trouble, huh? Good thing it was raining. Even they know better than to mess with BTs.
Yeah. Run away, scaredy cat. Anyway, so basically, I found myself saying to him, oh, I'm really enjoying this. I haven't been into anything for a long time. And I heard myself say it, and I thought, that's interesting. Because, first of all, it sounded a little bit adolescent for a man who is now, quite frankly, middle-aged, albeit, and I think you will know what I'm talking about if you've also suffered narcissistic abuse, parental narcissistic abuse, and formative issues. I never really grew up properly, so I'm kind of in a perpetual adolescence, and it's not very becoming, really. But it made me think about some interesting stuff about joy and enjoyment of life and pleasure, and the tendency when you're in adolescence to kind of like sort of mark your phases of your life and your enjoyment of life by being preoccupied by things in the zeitgeist, things in the you know, things in the media, you know. And of course, when I was a kid, I was into Star Wars and all that kind of thing. And I think one thing that's really strange for my generation, and possibly your generation, if you're a similar age to me, if you're Generation X, is I think something that we've seen on our watch is a kind of like, we've sort of seen that sometimes the people that we assumed, you know, really were really good at managing these properties that meant so much to us. We had absolute faith in them. Like if you think about, like, you know, Spielberg, George Lucas, and then moving on later, I mean, I wasn't a fan, but even things like Joss Whedon and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I never liked that show, but I know to some people it's really, really important. And we had this kind of like real faith in the people that created the X-Files. Was a really big one for me. And we had real faith that these people, you know, that create Chris Carter and the X-Files, that these people were really sound, you know, that they were there, that they deserved to be in that position they were in, that they would never fail us or let us down or, you know, screw it up. And on our watch, we've actually found out that that isn't always true, and that there isn't any kind of concrete sort of, if you like, certainty to this stuff. Like George Lucas wasn't this sort of sound, concrete genius, like concrete foundation genius. He was it was probably his youth and his vision that you know, got him to create such a great piece of work, and basically he great. And basically he looked out and for a combination of talent, like I say, look, good people around him, and we found this a lot. I mean, Spielberg also, his work has become a lot softer as he's got older, even though he's made some challenging things like Schindler's List and stuff like that. He isn't the guy that made Jaws anymore. You know, we've not had a good Indiana Jones film for a long time, you know what I mean? Anyway, basically, I found myself saying, you know, something like, you know, oh, I haven't been into anything for a long time, and now I'm into this, and I was for a little while, and I thought, is this a maturation issue? Like, I'm meant to be a grown adult by now, you know. I'm supposed to it's telling me that the corrosive rain has ruined the cargo containers, but hopefully what's inside will still be okay. Tell you what, let's pick this up. A little bit of extra cargo, but it might also serve as a little bit of extra protection. Anyway, who am I at the grand old age of, I'm not going to tell you, at the grand old, that's ghosts, at the grand old age of something or other, to like be saying things like, "Oh, I'm really into this." God, thought I could avoid this. And like, what does it say about me? And then I thought a lot about parents and being older and all the things I've not become, and how completely unlike my own, but the generation previous to my generation I am, how completely unlike, oh shit. I had a plan and it's not working. And I kind of thought to myself, like, that not being into things, the not being into things, what if that's maturity? The lack of excitement, the lack of, you know, kind of almost quasi-infantile sort of, not infantile, okay, but, you know, formative years excitement for a new series of your favourite show coming on and all that stuff. And that was one of the ways that I made life work when I was young and living in a narcissistic household, you know? Those obsessions. You know, that was one of the ways that I kind of made life bearable. And maybe that's the way we all make life bearable. I mean, I'm not even sure that the generation that's come up behind, I mean, after us, which will be the millennial generation, I'm not sure they're anymore. I think if anything, they're probably, you know, less mature, or no more, how about this, no more mature, not less mature, they're no more mature than those of us Generation Xers that have found ourselves, you know, in this position. And oh shit.